Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, or actually whenever you're listening to this. We are back with episode number 18 of the Service Ducks podcast. So this one is one where I haven't told James the topic, partly because I don't know what it is myself. Didn't tell you that much, did I? No. We're going to be talking about some stuff. Now, last episode, we got quite a bit of conversation going, actually. I spoke to several people about it. Last episode, number 17, if you haven't caught it yet, is around tips for bagging your first ServiceNow job. They're not all the tips. They were our tips and our kind of highlights, right? So this, I thought we'd go on to, well, now you've bagged the job, so what, right? So let's pretend, let's take this through the journey. Let's pretend you've bagged the job. Now what? What does that mean? How do you approach that as a person fresh into the industry? But there's a spin. What we're going to do is we're going to do our usual ramblings.
Yeah.
But we're going to look at what Gen AI tells us. So we're going to look at Chat GPT or Bard. Okay. Choose your weapon of choice.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what information we can get off that might help us as new people into a company.
Yeah, I like that.
No, you like it, don't you? Right?
Yeah.
We don't know where it's going to go, but let's find out. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to then I think just hit the mic. Ooh,
you're all good.
I've reverbed. Sorry if that pounded in your ear. Then right at the end, we're gonna talk about, and again, I haven't mentioned this to you. I think what we're going to discuss right now is whether we close down Series 1. So we're on episode 18. Do we cut Series 1?
Right.
Okay. And then we'll give them a little flavour for what's coming in Series 2.
Yeah, so I did wonder whether we kind of cover that in our...
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So we've got some really exciting things coming up in the next couple of weeks or the next few weeks. It depends when we drop them, episodes.
Yeah.
But we've got some external people. And when I mean external, I mean not me and James. Right.
It's external to Service Ducks.
Let me start again.
We have some guests.
We've got some guests lined up to come on. There's a couple more that you don't know about yet, James. I'll tell you later. And we're kind of lining up the calendar to drop them. We thought that's a natural break of where season 1 ends and we can start season 2. So if you stick around right to the end, we'll give you a bit of a flavour of what's going to happen in season 2. It might get a bit exciting.
Exciting.
But there we go. But anyway, until we talk about that, you have been, well, first of all, what's the colourful wheel behind you? Is that wheel like the management meal or wheel, or is that you picking a new colour for the office?
No, it's actually my other half's a teacher, so she has lots of different like teaching resources and stuff.
Okay.
So she just uses that as a means of like trying to, gamification up her kind of resources for her students and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, a little spinny wheel.
Well, there's a management thing you can do, isn't there? A management course where you put yourself in different colours, whether you're a red manager or you're quite aggressive. No, direct.
Based on your aura.
Yeah, basically, it's kind of things like that. I can't remember what it's called. I've done it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Whether you're a green, which is more of a cuddly manager, or a blue, which is more logical, or yellow that, I don't know, that is just yellow. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Tell what have you been up to? James, you come with James Forest Downs.
James Forest Downs. What does that mean?
I don't know. Tell us.
Hugging trees.
Hey, don't alienate the tree huggers.
No. Everyone is welcome on the so where have I been? So last time I said, I came in my outfit, in my tango outfit.
Oh God, yeah.
McLaren. I went to see the Formula One, so I've had another little excursion. This time to somewhere a little bit more scenic and a bit more relaxed. Somewhere that you've actually been earlier this year, actually, to a Center Parks.
Correct.
Yes, and spelt Center ER, not RE.
You mean it's spelt the proper way?
What do you mean the proper way? Well, the American way, I guess.
Okay.
Is that the proper way?
I don't know.
Is it American company Center Parks? I think how far does its reach go? Center Parks. I'm only aware of the ones in the UK, but I think there's a couple in Europe as well.
Hang on. Center, right? This is going to start much debate, right? Center ER. Are you saying that's British or American?
American.
Center ER is American.
Yeah.
Center RE is
British.
English, right?
Yeah.
So which how's it spelled?
ER.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Right. I thought you were saying the opposite. I thought, oh,
No,
this might
no.
get a bit testy
No,
now.
so they spelt it ER,
Right.
but I'm debating whether that's correct or if it's an American company and it's global and everyone
Okay.
knows about Center Parks. I don't know. I am only aware of the ones in the UK. So
Right. I'm with you. So just to clarify for anyone listening to this, they're both correct depending on where you are. Yeah. Well.
well,
Yeah. Keep going.
yes. Anyway, Center Park. So it's for those who do not know and have never been to a Center Parks. Maybe you're from the UK or there's some in Europe or Americas or wherever you're from. Basically, it's a really nice kind of retreat sort of place to go. Typically, we live in a forest, some lakes, and nice cycling routes and running routes, and lots of different activities. And there's typically like a sports hall sort of place, and things like tree trekking and all that kind of
Tree
good
trekking.
stuff. Yeah, stuff that you get from like a go ape.
Right.
Sort of
You're not trekking with trees.
No,
You haven't got a bunch of
going on
trees
trek
kind of
with trees. You're trekking on trees.
Right. Okay. Interesting fact. If you're a ServiceNow person, the Center Parks used to be a ServiceNow customer. Because
It used
you
to
and
be.
I don't know whether they are still, but years
Could
ago they
still
definitely
be.
were, because their internal portal, I've seen that you and I know who worked on it, was a
I know
ServiceNow
who you're
portal.
referring to. Yep.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Right. Okay. Yeah. Come on.
But yeah, no, it was a good holiday. It was an interesting week because I almost did a hybrid sort of thing. Obviously, we're remote workers.
We've talked about this.
I
Yep.
didn't treat it as a full kind of holiday, so I'm trying to manage my kind of holiday or vacation days throughout the year. So a couple of days I spent working. So I worked from the lodge that you kind of given amongst the trees and the scenery and different things like that. Decent Wi-Fi for us to kind of connect and and work from Center Parks for a couple of days.
Did you? So I got a question. Did you find it distracting though? So you got your family with you, I presume, right?
Yeah.
So was it distracting that they're going out having fun and you got to sit there pretending to work? Sorry, doing actual work.
Because obviously you can, and you know this, you can book up all the kind of activities, and they're at certain time slots, and we purposely had quite a busy schedule, kind of booked in. You want to make the most of the week.
I think you've got to, otherwise the kids just run riot and then get into this. I'm bored. There's nothing to do in life. Yeah.
Exactly, and I think the way it kind of worked out is there was actually probably more peace because they were out all the time. It was just me left in the lodge working. Whereas here, I'm at home. They're always like downstairs or watching TV or up and down the stairs. You hear them all the time, and you always hear the kind of background noise. Whereas you just kind of got this kind of serenity of working in a lodge, and you just kind of see the wildlife around you. And it was all right. It was good. I think the only thing that I majorly missed was my setup that I've got here. The larger screen, because you're having to work back on one screen again.
Yeah.
And as part of that, I did presentations, and that was quite annoying. So yeah, that was the only kind of semi-annoying thing. But no, it was good. It was probably more productive.
How more productive?
Yeah.
That's odd. How I want to know, how big is your screen?
Good question. I think
you
34.
can't say this big. You got give me a number.
It's about that big. No, it's 34. 34.
Wow.
34 widescreen. Yeah.
34. Do you have any other screens or just one?
Well, just the kind of laptop screen on the side, which is almost on like a docking station sort of thing, and then my 34-inch widescreen.
Is it curved?
Curved, yeah.
No. Do you separate? Do you put things in separate blocks? You know what I mean? It's like Teams in a little block up here, and you know what I mean.
Not really. I mean, I tend to have Teams on just one screen, which is like my other like laptop screen on to the side. My main focus being like my main kind of widescreen, and I'm always going to split it in two.
Yeah.
And it's got a KVM switch in it, so I've got it connected to my other PC, which is down here, which I'll run more things on, things like for the recordings and what we do here. So it's got a bit more power, a bit more
KVM,
better for screen recording.
I haven't heard of a KVM switch for years. I didn't know there was still a thing.
Yeah, well, this was built into the monitor, so you can just easily just switch between
Okay,
the two
that's quite cool.
computers. So,
So they're not actually a switch anymore. Then it is a thing that's built in. Right, that makes sense.
yeah.
No, I've got two. Mine, I consider my screen to be quite big. I'm sure it's only 27. It might even be 29.
Then you got two 27s.
No, I've got
And you ignore your laptop.
No. Right, no. I have my laptop, which always has. This is a good topic, isn't it?
Yes, we should have just done this as a topic.
Just done this. I have my laptop, which always has Outlook on.
Yeah.
If Outlook wasn't on there, I would panic, right?
Yeah.
Then I've got my big screen, which is my main focus screen, which is 20. Let's go for 29. I don't know. And then on this side, I've got my 21-inch screen. And that I didn't buy a 21 because I thought it would complement the 29. I had two 21s and then replaced one of them, right? Which is in the loft and it's a bit annoying. But that 21, I then split into two. So I have on the one side Teams and on the other side random stuff, right? So I have one half is Teams always, and the other side would be like code that I'm copying. No, shouldn't say that. We don't copy code.
Chat GPT.
but you know what I mean? You've got to have one screen that you're copying from and the other one that you're actually doing the work.
Yeah.
That's how devs work, isn't it? Surely. Or was it just me?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, no, we digress. But you had a good time. Did your little kitty winkies enjoy it?
Yeah, they enjoyed it. I think they were absolutely knackered at the end of it. You were doing at least like 20,000 steps a day with them, and it's a lot, and you have to kind of balance it out a little bit. And a lot of it is just about eating, eating at the restaurants, and I think just getting in the time in the pool. And
this is what I said to you, isn't it? I was like, with kids, anyone that's listening will know this, is you lose half a day just for going for lunch or going for something to eat, going for breakfast, right? Because they'll want a little play on the play area that's outside. You'll have breakfast, and then you'll mooch back to wherever you go. There's half a day gone, and they'll of course want to go and look at some pointless shop and buy something for £2, and you'll have an argument about it. Full half day gone. Question though: would you go back? And if so, would you go back to the same one, or would you try something different?
I would probably try a different one because, well, I mean, I don't know how different they're actually going to be. Presumably, they have the same sort of restaurants and, prices. The one I went to was a good 2-hour drive away. Whereas I've actually got one which you went to earlier this year. Only 15 minutes away. So we thought, different scenery. Maybe it's different. It's thanks to the original one as well in the UK. So
the Woburn one's new. And that's good. Oh, I just moved my ear. It makes my ear look really big. Let's do that again. Woburn one's really good. It's small, but it's by a nice safari park. Longley is by obviously a safari park.
Yeah.
That's big, but there's loads of hills.
Yes.
Be prepared for a lot of moaning.
There's a few hills in Sherwood Forest as well.
But Elvedin, again, not really many hills. That's a nice one. That's my favourite, I think. It's got a cave in the pool.
I'll probably go to there next time. I think that kind of Monday to Friday is enough time.
Yes.
Once you've kind of done everything and you're just repeating it for the sake of the pool and just cycling and walking about and stuff, it's enough for you to be, it's ready to go home.
Did your phone just ring then, young man?
It was Ring. It was the Ring doorbell.
Oh, we're recording and what an amateur.
Didn't put it silent. I haven't closed down my Outlook.
This is just madness. This is madness.
Hey, you surprised me with the subject of this, so I'm allowed a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so let me.
that's been my week, mainly Centre Parks.
Okay, so I have since you asked, what have you been doing, Russ?
Wait a minute.
No, so. I've been, again, I'm, of course, active on social. And I posed the question. This is my highlight, right? I posed the question, did you see this?
Yes.
Is an ITIL certificate, and I'm very careful about my words here, is an ITIL certification crucial for ServiceNow development?
I think that's a really good question as well.
And do you know what? It sounds really bad. It's far more exciting than I thought it was going to be, the results. How exciting can ITIL get? Let me tell you. 60% of people said yes. Right? 30% said no. And the other 10% said ITIL's old news. Forget about it.
Did that surprise you in terms of a result? Or was it
It didn't.
what you
I
were
expected.
expecting?
I'll tell you what surprised me, right? So it didn't surprise me, the result. It didn't. I expected more people to say it's old school.
Yeah.
Because I was probably the same as you. I started the service desk when ITIL was the buzzword, the new thing coming out.
Yeah, it was
Before then,
mandatory.
it's just before then we were just dealing with tickets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then ITIL started coming into your service desk, and you thought, well, what do you mean a request? I just categorize this ticket differently. So we didn't really think about it. So I was at that forefront, probably like you and other people that also responded. But I think it made me rethink the question, because I explicitly said, is an ITIL qualification certification crucial?
Yeah.
Now, originally I said yes. No, I said a good understanding is. But I didn't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not sure I think a certification is crucial, but I think the grounding and understanding that ITIL gives is. And I think there's someone that commented last night, actually, that made a good point. ServiceNow was built around ITSM, which is built around ITIL, right? So, of course, you have to have that understanding. And I think for me, when I look back, I worked on the service desk and service management for a number of years before I did the ITIL qualifications. When I did the ITIL, everything kind of started dropping into place. Change management, transition, operations, all kind of started dropping in. Oh, we're a function, are we? Service desk, it's not, you know what I mean? It all started dropping into place. So it was the grounding it gave me. And then when you started looking at ServiceNow and you start thinking, so that's how an incident relates to a problem. I can physically see it now, and I can touch and I can feel it, and I can move it around, right? And for me, it was that understanding that the light bulb moment happened, right? It's like, that's how things fit together in ITIL. But it allows me in things like customer workshops or talking to customers, it allows me to ask those questions. It sounds like a really simple question, right? This process we're discussing, customer, what outputs do you want to achieve from that? What are the outputs of that process? Oh, and thought about that. Well, I hadn't called them that. It's just a report that we send to Janice. But is there more people that look at it? Do you see what I mean?
It'd be interesting if you applied a different lens on it in terms of, would it be important in 5 years' time? And presumably you're asking that question for the perspective of someone who is brand new to ServiceNow.
Do you know what prompted me to ask the question? Is someone, I don't know, but I saw them post that they'd just passed their ITIL 4.
Oh, yeah.
And whereas I thought, oh, that's fantastic, because I've not done 4 and I've got no intention of doing 4. It did get me thinking, well, this person's a new developer. They've passed 4. Does everyone need to pass an ITIL to say, do you know what I mean? I'm useful in the business. I don't know. But it sparked a really, really interesting post. And although I think I might have come across by saying, yes, I think a qualification is crucial, I just want to kind of clarify that I think the understanding of what ITIL gives you is, the process. There are inputs and outputs to every process. There's stuff that happens in the middle. There's different roles and lenses for those processes. And I think having that understanding allows you as a developer to ask those relevant questions.
It used to be quite a selling point, didn't it? On your CV, if you said, oh, yeah, and I've got an ITIL V3, it's like, oh, fantastic, that's good. Whereas now it's like almost expected that you have an ITIL V3.
Correct.
It's not even a tick box. It's great, you've got an ITIL V3.
It is. And
these are the basics. These are the bread and butter that we expect you to have.
The other thing, just want to remember, the other thing that interested me about that post was the type. I don't know whether you can see who responded yes and no to which one.
I don't think I can see no.
Right. So when you do a poll, you can see view results. You can see exactly who responded yes, they think ITIL does need, and no, they don't. And what I was surprised by, the different people that were saying yes and no. So there were people saying no that you would expect. The people were saying no that had like an ITIL master, right? They've got in their LinkedIn ITIL master.
All the echelons of ITIL, and then they still say no.
Well, you can either think it. You can either look at it thinking, this is what I mean, right? So you can either look at it and think that person's an ITIL master and they have a deep level understanding, which means they're saying no for a reason, or they went through ITIL master and thought, well, that was a load of, can I say rubbish? Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that was a load of rubbish. Didn't need that. You know what I mean? I like to think it's the former, but it was really interesting who was saying going which way.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. Fascinating.
Yeah. And I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with where ServiceNow is going in terms of, I mean, yeah, we still touch on IT quite a bit in project work, like all the time still. And I think until the time where, and it is slowing down, obviously. I think since we both, were at Fruition Partners, it was ITSM.
Can you say that?
ITSM.
Can we still get away with Fruition? Do we have to partner jar that one?
That one's all right because we were both part of it.
Okay.
So it was all right.
Yeah, all right.
So I think if that was our bread and butter, it was our daily lives of ITSM. Whereas now you have experts in certain areas where they've never touched ITSM. There might be a data expert. There might be someone specifically in security or HR, where we have people who, they don't get engaged with ITSM projects, where we would probably still see it as your bread and butter. Maybe everybody should at least have, for example, the ITSM CIS certification. That's something that's always advised, to just get the basics and the understanding of that. I think in the future, that's probably less important as ServiceNow's kind of profile changes.
Yeah.
To be not just that.
Who knows? Who knows? But I will continue to be interested and keep posing those questions, I think, because I think it fosters, I like that word. I think it fosters a healthy debate. I like it.
Decent
so
lager.
We've as always, we've digressed quite a lot. Shall we move on to the topic that we're going to talk about? So the topic is, let me just load my screen. Do you want to bring up Chat GPT while I'm doing this? The topic is, and let me at this point actually turn on our live and make it public rather than unlisted, which is what it's been for the last 25 minutes.
Right, you can't blame me this time because it was you that did that.
This is classic, right? So if anyone just missed that,
which they did.
Yeah, wish they did. Of course they did. Right, last time James and I set up our podcasting software and invite the other person. James did it last time and accidentally put us live, right? So we've been talking live, which is okay because we don't see anything too bad at that, at least I don't think. This time I said, no, I'm setting it up. You're not to be trusted, James, because you're going to put us live without knowing. I have put us live intentionally and forgot to make it public.
So anyone magically with the link, access to
So I was sat here wondering, why is there no one viewing this? Are we that unpopular? The answer is probably yes. But no, it's because I completely forgot to switch it on. Oh.
So everyone watching, go back 20 minutes.
Shall I tell you another funny story? I had a conversation with someone this week that reached out to me, and they're looking at creating their own podcast. Okay, ServiceNow related, which I think is a brilliant idea. You sharing screen, which I think is a brilliant idea. But they're asking me advice on things like, is there a good way to put your podcast description, things about interviews? And the irony of it is, right, I'm trying to give someone the limited advice that I actually have, and I can't even press the go button when it goes live. Do you know what I mean?
Can we really get your advice as seasoned pros?
Like, can you
been
really
and done this?
Yeah,
that's quite funny.
Right, okay. I can see one person. That's probably my mum. Anyway, we're back onto the topic. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this.
Yes.
We haven't got long. Right, so topic being, last time we spoke about any tips that we would give to bag your first ServiceNow job.
Yeah.
We're now going to move over to Chat GPT and allow Chat GPT to help us to say we've now bagged a job. Now what? How do we make the most of it? I think is the question.
Yeah.
So I think what we'll do, we haven't done this before. It could be absolute disaster, but let's just start throwing some stuff at Chat GPT and see what happens.
Yeah. I
we
mean, do
do
we
it?
want to kind of discuss what our answer would be first, and then see what
No.
Chat GPT's got to say? No.
Ooh,
Okay.
go on then. No, I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. Just in
So
case it
you asked-
might come up with something completely different, rather than being led by Chat GPT's answers, I guess.
But
And
if
I don't
it's
have a default
different,
answer in my head, by the way.
oh,
So I'm
right,
gonna
okay,
have to
good.
just come up with it on the spot.
Okay, so right, I'll put you in the situation. You're a
Go
new
on.
person. You've been through NextGen.
Right.
You've tarted up your LinkedIn profile on your CV to display some outcome-based deliverables. You're passionate. You've done some app dev stuff. You love it. Come on, I'm juicing you up here. I can see you moving about. Right. You're loving it. You get into the job. What are the first 90 days of your role? Let's contain it. The first 90 days of the roles, what are the key principles that you take with you?
Okay.
Short and snappy. Come on.
All right. Short and snappy. Short and snappy. Okay. So the first things, I mean, this is me going on the basis of what I know now.
Yep.
Obviously, I can't say what I did back then 8 years ago in my first ServiceNow job.
And that would be utterly pointless because people want to learn from you as a veteran rather than
Exactly.
you're a noob. Come on.
I think what's important for me is to know the teams and the team's structure. I don't mean teams, the application.
I'm going to write this down.
Yeah, go on. So it's about understanding your colleagues, understanding what everyone does in terms of the different roles, understanding your position in the team org sort of structure.
Understanding company structure.
Yes.
And dynamics, yeah?
And dynamics. Okay. Yep.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay. You're allowed another two.
All right. Another two is about what they use. So I think tools-wise is quite important for me as well.
Okay.
It's about getting access to all the different links to things. How do you do timesheets? How do you do expenses? How do you do all the kind of boring admin stuff? Along with maybe they have access to their own ServiceNow instances that you can go on and use as opposed to your PDIs. So it's about getting access to all the tools, basically. Tools and all the different communication preferences. So they might say teams.
I'm going to write down what I think you're going to say next. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to write it down.
I don't know what I'm going to say next.
Come on, what's the third? Come on then.
So next is, I think, understanding the projects. So understanding the ongoing projects and what's going on. What does your company do quite often? What's happening right now? Is there any projects that you can get on straight away to do some shadowing? If you're this kind of eager person and someone so excited to just get on and do stuff, it may well be that the company don't want to immediately throw you out to the lions and say, right, you're on a project on your own, off you go. Maybe.
Yeah,
chances are they are. But if they set up really well and you get some exposure through shadowing and just being there as like an associate first, getting access to Jira boards or to the ITBM and stories and wherever you handle your kind of stories and project requirements, just to read through. It's good to see and be on the shoulder of someone who is implementing them sort of things, to seeing how they do it, how they document things. And I think what was big for me in those first kind of 90 days is to document it yourself, to write it in your own sort of words, to saying, this is how we do things. Maybe start to create your own sort of little storage, or maybe in OneNote. That's what I use a lot in terms of like remembering, where you should go to do things, and start to document what you've been involved in. It's a good practice.
Okay, so we've got understanding company structure and the dynamics of.
Yeah.
Understanding and learning internal tools, getting set up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's relevant. And understanding, it's got project and kind of what's going on. But I guess that's understanding a bit more about what the company actually does. So do they deliver mainly CSM stuff?
Yeah,
is it
are they an
ITOM
ITSM
based?
house? I guess some
I'd
of that
like
will
to think
probably
you know
come
that
from
before you bag the job.
Yeah. Some of that will come from your kind of prep and your interviews and stuff. You should already kind of know a little bit about the company, but it's about getting them insider access and, setting up meetings with different people to make sure you've got all the knowledge you have about, well, why this company, what makes them different.
Okay. So I will go. Do you know what's quite amusing? So I just berated you, didn't I, for the Ring doorbell? My daughter's out shopping today, and she's got one of these bank cards that when it uses, it's linked to my account, so I can tell when she's tried to use it. Denied. So she's tried to use it, and she hasn't got enough money. It says, "Oh, she doesn't have enough money in her account." And I'm like, "Oh, do I put some in for her?" No, she hasn't.
It's a learning exercise.
It's a learning exercise.
I think we got the same things called like a Rooster account or something.
Yeah. So so I'm expecting a phone call any minute now. Can I have some more money?
Please add some money in.
Yeah. So I think, so for me, I'm going to go with what you said in the interest of time. I think the important one, I'm going to pick out my important one for there.
Yeah.
Is understanding the company structure. And I think for me, it goes deeper than that, right? It's understanding who are the key players, who are the people.
Yeah, mentors.
I think who are the people to know, and I've got to say, who are the people not to know, who are the people to avoid, and that sounds really bad.
Yeah, I mean that might only come after being on projects with them, because no one's going to say, "Oh, yeah, don't talk to that guy."
It does, but you've got to. I think you've got to suss people out, and you've got to understand.
Come into the dynamics, which is easier if you were in an office.
Dynamics.
So you have to remember as well, you'd probably kind of pick up on these sort of things if you were in an office.
Yeah.
From home, they're just essentially another avatar on Teams.
This is true. This is true. So come on, let's go to Chat GPT. Let's see what it tells us. Let's not put in a bog standard. What should we put in?
I've just bagged my first job.
No, my first ServiceNow job, ServiceNow developer job. Come on, let's really. Okay. I've just bagged my first ServiceNow developer job. I don't know. What are you going to put in? Come on.
What do you recommend?
I do to be successful.
Yeah.
Should we bother putting first 90 days? No, let's just go with that.
No. Yeah, well,
come on then. Yeah, do it.
Go. Oh, congratulations. Okay. That's always a good start.
Understand the platform. Learn scripting languages.
Ooh.
Okay, so let's read out this. Here we go. Understand the platform, partly what you said about tools. Learn scripting languages. Not entirely sure that is correct.
No, I agree. Just going to increase the screen size a bit.
Explore ServiceNow applications. Yes. Best practices and guidelines. That's a good one.
That's it. Yeah,
be up to date with best practices. Stay updated. Stay current. Like it. Utilize the community. Scroll down.
Yeah.
Collaborate with colleagues. I'll tell you what. This is a list of 12. Continuous learning, version control, blah. Let's make it. Let's hone in. Say.
Top 10.
Just say only the top 10. No, top 5. Only the top 5. But we want to kind of aim it that we've started work for a partner.
Yes. Okay.
Because this is, I've just started in ServiceNow, right? It's.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't really take that into account. Yeah.
No. Okay.
Right. Only
now let's
top
see.
5 recommendations. When working for a ServiceNow partner.
Yeah, come on.
Let's see what that comes back with.
Let's get some more stuff. Again, this is experimental, guys, by the way, if you're just catching this. Okay, master the ServiceNow platform. Stay updated with partner-specific information, which will be things like what you said about what the company does and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, develop strong client-facing skills. That is a good one. Yeah. Collaborate with partner team. Good one. Prioritize client. I like those.
I mean, they're not bad.
They're not bad. They're not bad. So, develop strong client-facing skills. This is something I know we've spoke about before. That us as developers are all very, very good at learning the techie stuff, but we've got to do more of the kind of personal skills and getting good at presentations and the likes and doing demos. That is a key part. I like that one.
Yeah.
Collaborate with partner team. What's this all about? Effective collaboration with teamwork.
Teamwork. I mean, that kind of comes
Yep.
into the kind of shadowing and making sure you're communicating with teams and getting help where you need it and
Okay.
being
So
involved.
let's spin it slightly, okay, and then say, what strategy could I do in the first 90 days? Now let's home in on the 90 days.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's see if we can get it to,
Which I'm
give us some
expecting the number
stuff.
one thing not to be there.
I am as well. Master the ServiceNow platform.
Should I apply for the first 90 days?
Try that. It's interesting, isn't it? During the first 90 days.
Oh, split it up by the actual days as well.
Ooh.
Hello.
Okay, so we've just asked the question: what strategy should we use in the first 90 days? And it's now started bullet pointing. If you're not watching this, it's kind of saying onboarding and learning days 1 to 14. So it's splitting it by different days. Okay, so we've got onboarding and learning. Focus on understanding the company's culture, values. Yes.
Yeah.
Attend any training sessions. Meet with team members. Suss them out.
Yeah, and I'm loving that as a first thing. Actually,
Yeah.
I think I completely agree with that. Just understanding the company, which is actually, was that the first thing I said as well?
Yeah. So scroll down. What else we got?
Grasp
partners offerings.
So how they sell to the customers, who their customers are, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's also good. Kind of part of the first one as well, ish.
Yep.
Well, this is different now. Setting clear objectives.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I think it's all too easy to just kind of be left on your own kind of like devices and for you to kind of just figure these things out. So it is good to have kind of like the short-term objectives, especially if you're new as well. I think that's really good.
I like it. That sounds like a song. I nearly went into song then. I like that. So days 31 to 60 is set clear objectives. And I think we need to be mindful, right? If you're new into the industry, in any industry at all, it is your responsibility to drive your career. The manager's going to help you and the company's going to help you. But ultimately, the buck is going to stop with you, right? Because you're the one that's doing the do.
I think that's a great point.
So I would say to anyone, again, for any industry, don't sit there and expect a one-to-one for the manager to set you clear objectives.
Don't expect to be spoon-fed.
Yeah, drive it the way you want to drive it, and that's almost coming to point number 2 that you said is understanding the people and the structure, right? Because that for me is a part of managing your manager. Because sometimes you've got to manage upwards, right?
Yeah.
I've been a manager before. You've been a manager before. How great is it when someone comes to you in a one-to-one and says, "These are my objectives I'd like for the next few months. This is what I've achieved so far." You just go,
"Yeah,
happy days. How can I help?" You're keen. You're enthusiastic. So I do like that one. Really like it.
Yeah.
What's the next one? You read out the next one while I sort the dog.
So now we've got days 61 to 75, which is to do with proactive engagement, which already sounds good. Seeking opportunities to contribute actively to ongoing projects. Absolutely. I mean, that's about finding, if you've got time, which we call time on the bench, which a lot of ServiceNow partners will probably call it, time where you don't have an active project assigned to you directly. It's about being proactive and understanding what projects are ongoing, what things you can just, even if you're just listening in, it's not going to harm, understanding what's going on, seeking opportunities to seeing where maybe you can get involved with those sort of projects. So it's taking the initiative to ask questions and sharing ideas, looking for ways to improve existing processes, workflows, etc. So I love that. I love that. It's about being proactive and helping out, even though you're not an expert at this point or anything. Even if it's just for your learning and understanding how things are done typically, that's where you're going to gain a lot of your kind of wisdom and knowledge going forward, because you'll learn from these experiences. So I love that.
Okay, like that.
Next one, I'll take this one as well, which is days 76 to 90. Seek feedback and improve. So this is an interesting one because typically your kind of, your personal development plan or your that sort of thing is either maybe half yearly or yearly.
If at all.
Where, yeah, if at all, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And getting feedback, and that's the best way that you are going to improve, and actually asking for constructive feedback as well, because it's hard to give bad feedback to people. And sometimes you try and dress it up a bit to saying, no, you did really well, but what you want to learn is where you didn't do so well.
Yeah.
So being able to ask for feedback almost on a per project basis, or per engagement, or maybe you just were shadowing for a week and someone just asking, is this okay, am I stepping on your toes too much, how can I best dial it back, or what can I do better next time?
Yeah. And I would say on that is don't just view feedback as a way to get more money.
Yeah.
That's just my advice. I know. I'm straying slightly off topic. Is feedback on how well you're doing or not doing in some aspect is not just a way to go, oh, therefore I should get promoted or get more money, whatever. It's part of this. Sounds quite. We started with it tree huggery, didn't we? It sounds quite tree huggery, but it's about self improvement, right? You should want to improve yourself. We've all got to work for a living unless we win the lottery or strike it rich. Fingers crossed. So we may as well make it as enjoyable and the best we can, right?
Yeah, and I think about how you take on board that feedback as well. Going back to my first year of working in ServiceNow as a developer, I remember being as part of the project, and there's something that I did caused the project to be a few weeks longer than what it should have been. I got some feedback through the project manager at the time. They wasn't particularly happy with me, even though I was fairly new. And I took it to heart. I absolutely took it to heart, and I thought, oh my God, I'm rubbish at this. I don't understand why, I started to blame other people and thinking, I'm new, I should have been mentored better, or, this sort of thing. But actually, that just going through that learning experience and doing things wrong, and that's part of our intro as well, when things don't quite go so wrong. And that's going to keep happening, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be in your first year.
Every day.
How you take that on board and improve going forward, just as you said there, Russ.
Yeah, like that one. So the next one we've got, so that brings us to 90 days, and then Chat GPT has given us a little bit of a flavour of what to expect as you go forward. Build relationships ongoing. Cultivate positive relationships with colleagues. Again, this is the one that we're talking about. Engage in knowledge sharing activities. Hopefully that's what we do.
Yeah.
Positive relationships. Again, I like to think we do that. I kind of like to think of us in a way as kind of a kind of developer advocate type stuff. Not the same as ServiceNow developer advocates. So I have to throw that out there. We are not them. We are not. I repeat, we are not. But we are in a way externally, if that makes sense. And trying to get positive relationships, get people juiced up. Anyway,
yeah, and I think what's important with that building relationships as well is being visible. I'm not being afraid. I think this goes into one of the other points as well of not being afraid to show your personal opinion. And this goes on to something that you mentioned before about your own personal profile and being able to share your opinions in the kind of social aspect as well. People will appreciate that, and like we've said before, it will resonate with some people, if not all.
It is. It's about just being you. And someone asked me, DM'd me on LinkedIn. They just started a YouTube channel. As kind of anything you can help with. And to be fair, they probably just said it just to be nice, right? They weren't interested in what feedback I had. However, my only point was do whatever it is that makes you you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you crack jokes, do that. If you're deadly serious, do that. Do whatever makes you. Don't try and do anything that's not you.
Yeah, definitely.
But there we go.
So I was hoping that we would actually go into this and really pick the bones of Chat GPT and said, "Oh, you come up with rubbish things," but actually,
I like it. And I think I'm tempted to say that we might make a LinkedIn article out of this and put it on the Service Ducks site.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes against everything that I've been moaning about.
Well, copy and paste.
It goes.
Well,
It
there's a few
goes
things I didn't
against.
mention around like the tooling and maybe some other stuff that we can add in. So
I think so. Yeah,
as a
I
joint,
think
thing.
it is. This is very generic about any business, I know, but I think if we can spin some ServiceNow type stuff on there, which I'm sure we can, based on what we said before, I think we should, and publish an article, because that might be helpful for. Hopefully, it's helpful for people that are coming, not just new into the business, but this translates if you're moving across to a new company, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think this has been a useful exercise for me. We are severely running over time for us. Someone's asked a question. Can I ask a question related to ServiceNow, even though it'll be not related to this topic? Shall I reply? I don't know what topic. Where are you on the vid? As we forgot to press publish, and so
sorry about that.
are way ahead.
That's it.
Way ahead.
So that's instant feedback that where we need to improve.
Yes. But yes, so just to summarize, this has been a useful exercise. We'll put this as a LinkedIn article so you can go ahead and read it. So yeah, it's it's been good, and thanks, James, for being a bit of a sport with me, surprising you didn't know what was going.
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed
Next
that.
part, though.
We should do more Chat GPT
stuff.
Yeah, stuff. That's good.
But I think what we should do, and I haven't discussed this, so we can talk about this a different time. But should we call this a day on season 1? So is episode 18 the final episode?
Yeah, it's a nice even number.
I think it is.
I think we've ended quite nicely with all the kind of advice around remote working, and new people and how you should kind of like present yourselves, and what our tips are around your social profiles and different things like that. And we're going into some slightly different stuff coming up. So
yes, it's exciting times. Yes. So I think we'll draw a line under Service Ducks season 1.
Yeah,
I think we should even title this "We're Leaving."
Bye.
But fear not, we will be back with season 2 pretty soon. We might take a short break. We haven't discussed it yet, or we might just go straight into it. It doesn't really matter. I think the one thing we can be sure of is we're probably going to change the release date of the podcasts. At the moment, it is Wednesday. We're probably going to go for a different date just to mix stuff up. Just when people start to catch us up, we just want to do something completely different. We are also looking to take on more of a kind of an interview style podcast where we can get guests on, share their experience, have a bit of fun with them as well. We're certainly not moving away from the fact that James and I like to have a bit of a laugh and a giggle, right? That's not going to change. We're still going to maintain that.
Expect the waffle.
So we've got some exciting guests lined up. One is lined up for straight after when they start giving us all the Vancouver information. So the Vancouver platform tidbits are dropping on the 3rd. Pretty much straight after that, maybe the week after that, we've got someone quite pivotal in that coming on to give us a bit of their insight. But and we've got different people, different roles. But if you want to get involved, join in, come on, have a bit of a laugh, take on the alphabet game perhaps, then drop us a message to talktotheduck@service-ducks.com, or drop me or James a LinkedIn DM. That's what the kids say. And again, there's no preconceptions. You don't have to be a certain role. You don't have to be a certain type. It doesn't matter. We'll just come on and we'll have a deal.
Yeah.
James.
Absolutely. Yes.
So before we close, should we answer this one question that someone's just caught up?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Can you tell me how to be good in patterns in discovery in ITOM suite? Well, that's quite a specific question. Very specific. Discovery.
How to be good in patterns?
I would say
go on.
Now Learning is your first port of call. I would also say there's a plugin, isn't there, to keep them up to date, discovery plugins to keep them up to date. Get in and have a play. Other than that, I have to be honest, it's not something I've touched much, but that is what I would be doing if it was me.
One thing I would say is, obviously, there's a lot of patterns there out of the box. There is the likeliness that you may well be extending a pattern rather than creating a brand new pattern. So there's that to think of. Other than that, I would suggest kind of looking through some of the existing patterns in terms of how it kind of gleans information from the different kind of technologies and how it kind of parses data. So a lot about the patterns is obviously gathering information, getting it in the right sort of format, and then putting it into the necessary tables. So I would say have a look and see how them patterns are kind of working. There's a lot of kind of testing functionalities on the kind of pattern creator where you can try it out. So I'd say give that a go. Other than that, yeah, exactly what Russ said. Just give it a go. Go and see how it works for you, and have a look at the Now Learning courses and doc sites to help you out.
Okie doke. Okay, that was good. That was a bit more useful than I. Clearly, you got
Didn't
more
expect
experience
that
in that area. No, there we go. But yeah, so this season's been an absolute delight. And until next time, I guess it's remains us to say I've been Russ,
And I've been James,
and this is Service Ducks.